going to show you how this framework took me from being this bassist here, bass on the floor, no gigs, no fun, to getting a couple things coming through, to now not only getting called to play, being asked to MD certain church services, but actually enjoying it and having fun and having everyone else enjoy the playing that I was doing. You've likely been playing for a while, you know, you've had that bass for a while, you've been playing, you've been practicing, you've been even playing a few church services, but it's not going the way you want it to go. It's not going the way your team wants it to go, your worship team, the congregation wants it to go. Learning to play music, it can be a never-ending, it certainly feels that way, it can be a never-ending cycle of pain. I've been there myself. I was learning licks, scales, fills, but I didn't know how to use them. And as a whole, I was just focusing on all the wrong things. It's not your fault that you haven't been able to shake this frustration of essentially hitting a brick wall with your progress. You just need, certainly I needed, just a simple framework to put everything into, to learn and develop, so that you can actually use what you learn. And that's what I'm going to show you now. So we've got this fancy table here. This box down here on the bottom left, we've got the core of this framework, the INV framework. Once you understand this, you can apply it to anything you learn musically. We go through all the steps in order. So step one is mastering intervals. You need to know where they are and know what they sound like. The good news is there's only 12. Because there's only 12 notes, that means there are only 12 intervals that we have to learn before we get back to the same note. And I can show you here because a lot of the times music and music theory is taught on a piano, but that's not a logical instrument for a bassist. Let's look at a wheel. Let's look at a clock. So if we replace the numbers 1 to 12 with letters of our musical alphabet, you can now see if we were to start at A and we counted 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you get back to A, back to the same note. When I started out, I knew there was an A, I knew there was an F note, I knew there was a C, but I wasn't sure about if there was a H or K. I didn't know where the alphabet stopped. You don't know these things unless you're told it. Now, that's what we're starting to put right with this framework. Intervals are just a name for the distance between notes. And the names that we put attached to them, they're just a name. For now, just think about the name. Don't worry about whether it's a minor this, major that. So you just have to remember the distance, what those intervals are, where they are on your instrument. So learning where to play that and what they sound like. If we just take the clock example right now, if we start on B and we're going to play a perfect fifth, we go around 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we get to F sharp. Now, if this is flying over your head right now, that's fine. Let it fly over, let it go, but we need to know this, and we need to know where to play that perfect fifth, and we need to recognize the sound of that perfect fifth, because as we grow and we scale through this framework, recognizing the sound of these intervals are going to be vital, along with knowing where they are on our instrument, to everything else we do. If we don't have this piece right here, this is one of the largest elements I've found from talking to other church musicians and kind of students on their studying journey that holds them back. But let's keep moving, because maybe that's not your roadblock, your obstacle. So the next part of the INV framework is N, which is for the number system. Some people say Nashville number system, that's all well and good. That's fine. And it's just a way of translating chords into numbers so that we can learn and view a progression regardless of the key. If we had a 1, 4, 5 in the key of C, that would be C, F, and G. But now if we view it as a 1, 4, 5, we can now learn patterns and harmony from an interval standpoint, which is why we need to know the intervals. So I now know that the chord on the 1 is going to be major, the chord on the 4 is also going to be major, and the chord on the 5 is going to be major. I know what intervals are in each of those chords, so I know that there's going to be a root, a major third, a perfect fifth. I also know that if I went out to the 7th chord and it's all within the same key, that the 5 chord, I can play a flat 7, but I can't play the flat 7 over the 4 and the 1. This is what fully understanding the number system does for you. It gives you these options that starts to open up more doors. This is more than we can cover in one video. I can't break it all down in one video because it won't go in. But if you understand the framework I'm giving you the steps, and then you have to go away and look into that more. Or you work with me further and I take all the guesswork, we take all the guesswork out of the equation, and I will systematically teach you every bit of the step you need, along with the ear training, along with recognizing the intervals and chords, so that you can stop guessing. This is the largest thing. It's like, if you've been playing for years, you've had that bass, it's been sitting there 5-10 years, and you've kind of been stuck at that same level of frustration, that's not going to change unless you change something. So that's what we can do here. So for those of you, for a small percentage of you, that you're like, I'm done not knowing what I'm playing and not knowing how to get around this, I have that availability for the right people to work one-on-one to completely remove that barrier. So there'll be a link in the description where you can book a call, but that is N, that is the number system. So you have to know your chords, you have to know where they are. If I say a 3-6-2-5, you have to know where is the 3-6-2-5 within your bass, within the fretboard, and you need to know it in more than just one place, because you might want to move around, or you might have to move around, or you might have found yourself in an awkward position or key because of something you've gone to, or a lick you've tried, or a line in a song, and you don't know how to get back to where you want to be. So that is why learning the number system and where it all fits within your fretboard, and again, knowing the intervals allows you to know the number system and where it is on the fretboard. So they are all linked. Now, for a few of you, you're sitting here going, oh, I get this, I get the number system, I understand the principles of like chords and 2-6-5-1, all of that sort of thing. That makes sense to me, but I'm just stuck playing the same things. Okay, and this is where the V in the INV framework comes in, and that is vocab. We have to systematically develop tasteful vocabulary, but not just learn how to play it, actually understand what it is that we're playing and what that particular line or phrase that you like is over in relation to the chord progression and the number system, so that we know, cool, if I have this chord progression, or if this progression opens up over what I'm playing, I can pull out that option over that chord because I know it's going to fit. That's where understanding this as a whole framework starts to click into place, because now you've just got pieces of the puzzle that you put together. You know, and there's many people that have instinctively worked this out by ear. Can you learn this purely by just sitting down with your instrument? As a common advice that I grew up with, that I heard from a lot of players, was just spend more time with your instrument, just use your ear. It's not bad advice, it's good advice actually, but I think that gets bandied around a lot because it's the easy answer. You know, it's the easy answer to say just use your ear, but if you're already struggling to use your ear, that answer is not going to help you. You actually need to understand where you're going wrong and how to correct that. That's what we're doing here. Not only do you want to learn vocab, you want to break it down and understand what are the intervals behind it, what chords is it over, to get all of the different aspects moving smoothly together. We need to continue to develop your ear so that you can learn what you hear, and then simply take the bits that you like and have identified and be able to use that in your day-to-day church playing. And there's going to be different vocab for different styles, which is the important thing to remember. So if you're doing more CCM, it's about how do you get the CCM vocab in and maybe drop a bit of that gospel flavor within there. Equally, if you're playing in a more traditional Caribbean church, there's going to be a Caribbean vocab to that and set of rhythms and phrases and feel that you're not going to get from CCM. But equally, if you bring all the Jamaican stuff over to CCM, you know, there's going to be a lot of songs where that doesn't work. So there has to be that understanding and development of taste in knowing what's right for the moment. So that is a breakdown of the overview of the framework. Drop any questions you have below in the comments, because I'm really curious to see how that resonates with you. If you're done trying to work this out all by yourself, join my free church-based community. I have a community of over 200 members who are either actively playing or want to be playing bass in church across the globe, and we're building a lovely community there. So I want to see you there. Come in, get involved and ask questions. I'm in there answering questions. That's the best way to ask me questions. And if you want to skip the trial and error and work directly with me to go straight to what works, book a free strategy call and we can pinpoint your game plan and see if you're a good fit for my one-to-one program.